and thanks for joining me. I am speaking with Jenn Malecha about client onboarding and back office automation. In this session, Jenn is going to teach us the key components to delivering an exceptional client onboarding experience, how to create an efficient workflow process, and ways to streamline and automate daily tasks, and the importance of organization and automation to retain clients and effortlessly get referrals. So without further ado, let's introduce Jenn.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to share this information with the listeners today, the audience, because this is information that took me some time to compile in my own practice. And as a result of creating client onboarding and back office automation in my own practice, I now am able to help other functional health coaches and practitioners kind of do the same based on that experience. And I find that it's hard to find this information sometimes. And so through my years of experience, basically in this presentation, I'm going to kind of compile for you guys like what it is that I have seen through my journey and my business and what I found that works best for me. And I duplicate that process for a lot of health coaches, functional health coaches, and practitioners to help them create automation too. So I just want to share a little bit more about me and like kind of some of the skills and the expertise that I'm bringing to the table here, because as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, I never thought that I would be teaching on business, by the way. It's kind of funny when you look back at your life and, you know, all those like careers that you had before you find the dream career, you're like, God, why was I doing that? And I can look back now and I say, oh, all these other things that I did leading up to this point really gave me the skills to actually create success in my own business and to share with others. So before becoming a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, I worked in the fitness kind of world. I ran a multi-million-dollar fitness facility, had to manage like P&Ls, had to manage a full staff, like a personal training program, a membership program. And so that was my first kind of like deep dive into managing a business and some of the things that I teach about now as well too. And I moved out of that space like into corporate wellness. If you guys all remember, corporate wellness kind of got really popular, gosh, back in, I would say 2010 roundabout. It's kind of a dying industry in some ways now, but I worked for a couple of startup corporate wellness companies. I moved up and was the VP of strategic wellness planning, which was my last corporate job. Yay. Before I branched out to create my own multiple six-figure coaching business that basically runs itself and allows me to pursue other passion projects. Aside from running a coaching business, I also run a practitioner mentoring business and I consult for other companies too. And a lot of people will say, well, Jenn, how do you do that? And I say, well, because I have automation and systems in place, which I'm going to share with you guys today. But the corporate wellness experience, Nicole, was really what shed light on this whole world of what we call CRMs. And I'm going to talk a little bit about like client management systems and the customization and capabilities with them. So one of the tools that I'm going to talk about today is called Infusionsoft. And Infusionsoft was introduced to me back in 2010 or so when I was working in corporate wellness. We brought it in. You know, most people know it as a sales and marketing tool, and we certainly used it in that way in the corporate wellness business. However, I worked on the client management side, working with the HR contacts and coordinating their strategic wellness plans and events calendar for the year. And so I really got to learn how to use Infusionsoft as a client management tool, and then explored this in my own business as well. And systems, whether it's Infusionsoft or something else that you're using, you know, that they are the key to success. If you look at any other business out there, we look at Apple or Google or some of the big businesses out there, even something like my favorite place to shop, Nordstrom, they all have systems in place that help them to nurture their clients, to create a great customer experience, which is what keeps the customers or the clients coming back time over time, which is really going to be the foundation of your business. So before we even dive into all of this, I want to really encourage our listeners to really take some time to sit down and think about what your vision for your business is, because you need to be really clear about this in order to create a plan for client onboarding and for back office automation. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself flailing out there on the internet, researching all the different types of tools and thinking and feeling like you need to have everything and anything. And that's not really true. So some of the things that helped me gain clarity in my business and when I went into this process was thinking about how I wanted to spend my time. Like, I got into the business of functional health because I was having health issues. And I knew that my previous jobs had contributed to the decline in my health. So it's important to think like this career that you have, we're teaching other people about health. Like, how do you want to spend your time? And maybe that's on your own health. You don't want to be working 60 hours a week, right? And how do you want to feel in your business? Do you want it to feel easy? Do you want it to have flow? Do you want it to be smooth? Like, you want to feel confident? Like, those are all important things too. And then what do you want your clients or your customers to experience? I often say, like, I want to be the Ritz-Carlton of functional health coaching or in the health and wellness space, right? We want them to have that first class experience. And I would, bet to say that nobody's going to say anything less than that, right? We all want our clients and our customers.
Want to be the McDonald's of functional health.
Exactly, right? So really take some time after the presentation today and ponder this, do some journaling around these things and really get clear about this stuff, because in order to select your systems or to automate things, you need to know what it is that you're trying to achieve. Have that clear vision, then you can start putting the plan in place and the tools in place that are going to support the vision. That is so incredibly important. And so to shed some light on this, let's talk a little bit about the customer or the client journey too. Like, I want to help you guys to see, the steps in the process. And this is just a simplified version of a customer journey. There are a lot of things that go into the customer journey, but this is basically kind of the basic fundamentals, is that you're out in the world, likely on, let's say, Instagram or Facebook, or you have a website so that people can Google and land on your website. And ultimately, the goal is to get them into what we call our quote unquote funnel, right? So to get them onto our email list, where then we can start nurturing them with email marketing and funneling them to an opportunity to purchase one of our products or our services. So we get into the payment collection side. And most of you guys probably know some of these things, and these are certainly very important and challenging as well. But what I find makes these aspects so much easier is when you're actually really nailing the post-purchase experience. So after somebody purchases your product or your service from you, then in that customer journey, we need to manage the client relationship, and we need to deliver impactful programs and engage the person. This equates to client retention and referral opportunities. So your business is only as solid or as viable as your ability to deliver, basically. And if you can nail these aspects of your business, guess what's going to happen? People are going to refer, start sharing more of your social media content. They're going to refer clients to you. They're going to share your website. They're going to forward your emails to friends and family members who should also be getting your information too, which is just going to put more people into the pipeline. If you don't have great client onboarding and automation to ensure an exceptional customer service experience, that's where these people, once you collect that payment, they start to fall off, and then your referral system basically dies. So this is why I want to emphasize the importance of these things when we talk about client onboarding and automation. Is this is really the key to your business. If you think about, if you keep putting people in the funnel and they purchase, but they don't become lifetime or long-term clients, it's like you have a hole in your boat. So you're just constantly like treading water and bailing water out of the boat, trying to like keep it afloat, versus if you just plug the hole in the boat, the loss of clients, and improve their engagement, then you can improve the lifetime and they're going to refer more people back to you as well.
And it seems like a lot of people really focus on this front part of the funnel here, like the email market, like social media, so content creation, lead gen, and then making the sale, right? And it seems like it's a minority of people that actually focus on this really important part at the back. So I'm so excited that
Yes.
you like kind of talk us through this back end piece here.
Exactly. And you know what too, is that with that, like a lot of people will say, well, I don't have a website yet, so I'm not ready to start my business. And I always like to share, Nicole, I didn't have a website either. I started my business without a website. I started my business without Instagram, without really a Facebook presence or anything like that, without an email list, based upon like reaching out to my immediate network of people and enrolling a couple of clients, delivering phenomenal service to them. And then that resulted in referrals. You actually don't need a lot of these other things. If you can deliver a valuable service, which is what people really want, the business will continue to come, right? So let's dive into what that really looks like then. So the first thing, so just to break this down for you guys, like in the pieces that we were just looking at, obviously you need to go out and find and enroll clients. So first of all, you need to find and enroll your ideal clients. It's not just any client that's out there. And we can even create automation with some of this stuff. So target market research is something that I strongly emphasize with a lot of the people that I mentor in the business side, is that you want to be surveying your ideal clients, researching them to understand where they spend their time. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it blogs? So then you can funnel your marketing efforts in that way. And we can be surveying them all the time. So for example, this is where automation comes in. When somebody opts into my email list, they instantly get a link to fill out a survey for me. So I can grab information from them and then I can review that information and I can implement that information to tailor my marketing, right? So this is where we can focus our efforts where they are and create the kind of content that they care about. And we can go out into the internet world and be visible and attract them through social media. Again, all with the goal of nurturing them over to jumping onto your email list, which is where automation comes into play. So if you're going to put a Facebook post up about something, let's say you got this really cool like 10 recipe guide or something that you want to give away, then we want them to be opting into your email list and automatically getting a congratulations, welcome, great to have you be a part of the tribe email. That should be automated for you. You can't be doing those things manually. And we also want to provide that instant gratification. Well, then maybe 2 days later, now you're going to send them another email that's following up on that original email. We call this a nurture sequence. And this is how we build trust and rapport to sell without feeling like a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
So this is important because I find that, sometimes health professionals and practitioners, they're like creating blogs, they're doing what we call email blasts, like bulk emailing to their email list, but they don't actually have like a nurture sequence in place that's automatically doing the job for them. And it's great to be doing all of that other content too. But when somebody initially creates an interaction with you, we want to be nurturing them to the point where they're like ready to read our blogs or get more information from us or schedule a discovery call with us. And by the way, those things can be automated as well too, as we're sending them these nurture sequence emails, then we're warming them up to the idea of working with us, and we can be putting links in there to basically book an appointment, a consultation with us. And if we're using the right systems, we can tell the system, hey, continue to send these emails until the person books an appointment. When they book an appointment, now they've reached a different stage. So we're going to stop sending them these emails. And now we're just going to send them appointment reminders so that we're not bombarding their email inbox with things.
Mm-hmm.
And we are paying attention to the experience that they're having that creates a good outcome on the other side, right?
Great. All makes a lot of sense.
Definitely. So then the next thing that I find that's really important to create a great customer experience, as well as a key in being able to create a great onboarding experience and automation, is to have standard service offerings. And if you think about this, like think about a Target or a Nordstrom's or maybe another store that you walk into. A lot of these stores, one of the things that they have done is on the inside, they have designed all the stores exactly the same, so that no matter what city you're in, you walk into a Target, you know exactly where to go to find the thing that you're looking for.
Yeah.
You don't have to like waste your time searching, right?
Mm-hmm.
So also, like, why is it that Steve Jobs developed like Apple and the iPhone that we know. If you read his book, he talks about controlling the customer experience to create a positive experience. And so it's like something that we can count on. It's a duplicatable system. So there's comfort that comes with your client with that, because then you can speak more confidently to the service that you're providing. Then also, it's very clear for the client. So the client, when they are talking about your services, they can be very clear to referrals that they're sending over to you. So think about this as like what we would call maybe your signature system. You might have heard that term before in sales and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It's duplicatable. When it's duplicatable, it allows you to create what we call a workflow process, which allows you to work efficiently because it allows you to put system and automation in place. If we're constantly creating custom service offerings for people, we can't duplicate that process and do an efficient workflow, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop and recreate it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And so people might say, this is where I hear, Nicole, a lot of people say, but I want to help everybody. But the reality is that the success of your business is really helping the 4% of the people that are your ideal client, which are going to need the same type of services, right? So that's why it's really important to get clear on your ideal client. Then you create a signature system and a workflow process related to them specifically that allows you to work more efficiently and then to automate the things that you're doing.
Yes.
And so the automation is what then gets to the point where we can deliver these impactful programs. As I might have said earlier, I say often, exceptional service sells itself and it results in effortless referrals. Think about like when you have a really good experience with a car, a phone, getting a massage, whatever it is that you're doing, don't you go and tell a whole bunch of people about it? I know that I do, right? I recently got an amazing massage and I was like, I want to tell everybody about her, but I was like, but I also don't want everybody to take up her time. So maybe I won't. Right?
Myself.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it to myself. So, but this is the truth. Why do people spend money at the Ritz-Carlton? Because they get such great service there, right? They could go, spend their money elsewhere, but they're looking for that first class feel. And so what allows us to deliver that first class feel? Again, it's the standard workflow process. Being able to repeat it time and time again, making it efficient, being able to make it predictable, automating it so that you don't miss a step in the process, excuse me. And clients are going to be more inclined to buy or refer to you when you come off organized. So if you have a workflow process, if it's automated, so it's automatically sending them emails to remind them to do things or to engage in stuff, that organization is going to show up. It's going to give you confidence and it's going to give the client confidence in you to send more people to you. So what are the kinds of things that you need in order to deliver that? Well, you need visibility to your daily tasks. You need to know where your clients are in your programs. And this is where systems and automation can help us with that. You need to be able to track your client information really easily and clearly. This then decreases your feeling of overwhelm each day, and it allows you to prioritize and focus on the things that really matter, such as your clients or enrolling people. I always like kind of blow people's minds, Nicole, when I say like, I only allocate 1 hour a day for administrative work to do client stuff. And people are like, well, how are you able to do that? And it's like, because in my system that I've set up, I have a task list. And so when I log in, I see my tasks for that day, and that helps me to say, okay, these are the important things that I need to accomplish today, and everything else can wait. Mm-hmm. And also within that space is like, I can see all the client notes in there. I can see where they are in their program, what things they've purchased, what emails they've opened. And so this is what automation is, and that back office management piece, right? And it also shows
all of this in Infusionsoft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys some screenshots of what that looks like too. So when you don't have a plan, then you waste time trying to figure out what your plan is for each day versus just having it there, right? So let's actually look at what are some core things that every business needs in order to facilitate some of these things that we're talking about. And one is that you need an email and marketing management system. And there are quite a few different options out there. Like some of these logos might look familiar to you guys, things like MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft does that as well. You need a payment collection processor system that you can automatically collect payment from them online or even in person. That's going to automatically send them an invoice, receipt, and then trigger the next steps of the process. And then most importantly, I find that people typically have the two top things here. But what a lot of people are missing is the client relationship management, the CRM system, which is what is going to help you stay organized and focus on that client onboarding experience and beyond to deliver that first class feel that you want to be able to deliver. And here's some insights. So when I started my business, when I was started as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, I was doing a lot of this manually. I was overwhelmed with just like, once I had 5 clients, it was hours of my time per day to sit down and go, okay, where is this client in their program? What email do I need to send them? What do I need to do today? I was selling the custom packages. I was like sending invoices and praying for payment. I was like spread across multiple tools, which was also time consuming because if I wanted to look at one thing, I had to log in here. If I wanted to look at something else, I had to log in over there. I was basically spending way too much time spinning my wheels. And then I implemented an onboarding process and automation and systems that were more like a one-stop shop, and business then started to boom because I could focus on marketing or doing the things that I needed to do, knowing that my clients were taken care of with automation. And now at any point in time, I average over 20 active health coaching clients, over 80 different functional health coaches I mentor, plus I run group programs on top of that and consult for other businesses. And what allows me to do that is having the strategic packages in place. It's created steady income and financial stability so I can continue to invest in my business and do what I want to do. It allows me freedom. I love to travel. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll find that, except for right now during quarantine.
Oh, boo. So what do we got? Is that Copenhagen?
It is Amsterdam down here.
Amsterdam.
And then this is Cinque Terre in Italy, which is one like holds my heart. I love
I've been
that
there
place.
before. So beautiful.
I've been twice. It's so amazing. Like done the hike multiple times.
Yep.
And so the efficient systems and the automation that allows me to be organized, lets me do this stuff. That was something really big for me getting out of the corporate world, is that I wanted freedom and flexibility to travel. Like I was tired of working for people that could approve or deny my vacation time. I wanted to be able to take my business on the road. And I should put the picture that I have here of me sitting on a beautiful like patio in Croatia working from my computer, because my business goes everywhere with me now because it's
Living the
all
dream.
100% online and taking, coaching calls while you're in Croatia, right?
Yeah.
So again, the systems, to create automation there's a lot of simple things that you can do to keep you organized, to deliver impactful programs, decrease your workload so that you can really spend more time doing the things you want to do and build a solid referral-based business. So Nicole, I have a question for you. This is great. I love asking this question. Once you enroll a client, let's say in one of your programs, whatever that might be, as a functional doctor or health coach, what is the very next thing that you need to do?
Oh my God, I'm like so on the spot. Survey them and see where they're at in their health journey.
So that's what most people would say is like, oh, I need to survey them. I need to ship them out test kits. I need to do this. I'd say, no, you need to go get your next client, right?
Oh, I would never have guessed that.
Yeah.
I could have listed 10 more things. I'm like, get them on a call.
Right. Because the reality is that all of that stuff should be taken care of for you. That's what automation will do. And if you want to create a viable business, we have to create steady revenue and income. So you need to be able to enroll a client and know that they're taken care of through your automation and your system so that you can go out and work on getting the next client. And that might mean creating more content, like more lead magnets and opt-ins for your website, or being like we're doing today, an interview on a summit or a podcast. You need to be able to have the time to focus on those things. So you have to be focusing on getting the next client, knowing that you're client that you just enrolled is taken care of. So I put together a little list for you guys here, because these are some of the most talked about systems in the industry, I would say, in our industry. They can help to facilitate client onboarding and automation. And some of them do a lot, they're very powerful and they do a lot of things. So I'm sure, Nicole, you probably even have some people that are maybe talking about like Ontraport or Active Campaigns, possibly Practice Better. And then we've got Infusionsoft or Keep. And when I went to go set up my business, I really looked at what is going to give me the most power for the money that I'm going to invest in it. What is going to be the one place that I need to log in for 90% or more of my business needs? And so I've created a little checklist here for you. And Ontraport and Active Campaign are very, very similar, and so is Infusionsoft. And Infusionsoft does a couple of like extra things. And some of these extra things that it has a capacity to do are because of the work that I've done with it and the custom utilization that I've had with it that we can now share with other practitioners. So we have down here, like, you know, for those people that might be familiar with the work that I do as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, it's FDN or maybe lab test specific templates, content, and frameworks. So in the functional medicine world that we're talking about here, a lot of us are doing lab testing, right? A lot of our listeners, I'm sure. And so I've created a framework within Infusionsoft that helps to facilitate that onboarding piece of the client management, and then product training and support as well along with that. Now, Ontraport and Active Campaign, they have some of those capabilities, but you have to build it from scratch, basically. So one of the things that I kind of say with some of the services that I provide with Infusionsoft and some of the trainings that I do is like, it's kind of the difference of, you know, if you watch HGTV, which I feel like is probably the most popular channel of our generation, or right now, like the, you know, whatever part of the 2000s we're in, everybody watches HGTV, right? So, you know, the terminology of a fixer-upper versus a turnkey house. Yeah. So a fixer-upper is like, it's got the frame, like it's not a, you know, it's not a total tear down. You might keep the framework, but you're going to like you have to build it from scratch. And that's what Ontraport and Active Campaign can be a lot of times for people, and Practice Better as well. It doesn't have any predetermined templates or workflows for you based on maybe the type of business that you're in as a functional health practitioner. And so with what I've kind of done with Infusionsoft, we call that turnkey. It has 90% of the things that you need for client onboarding and automation in this industry. And then what I do is I take people through a training to do the upgrades, you know, to swap out, like maybe they want marble instead of quartz countertops or something like that. So it's like, we go into the emails and we show you how to put your logo and your links in there, but you get this template and the structure that comes over for you 90% done. And I really want to talk about Practice Better because I hear a lot of people talk about Practice Better, and Practice Better is actually more of a client engagement tool. It's not a one-stop shop for all of your business needs. It does not have email marketing, which you definitely need to do as part of that funnel. It doesn't have lead capturing, tracking, and reporting either. It doesn't have client onboarding automation in there. It's not really we say that it's not scalable because as you accumulate more clients really quickly, you have to start paying for more. Versus like the entry level for Infusionsoft, you get 500 contacts in there. I think with Practice Better, you start around $49 a month. And as soon as you get to like 10 clients, you have to start paying more, right?
What does it mean by program delivery?
So program delivery is being able to like drip content to people typically. So like we would consider that program delivery. So I drip email content to people that keeps them moving through like the program that I'm offering, which you can certainly also partner with an actual like membership site login space.
That's what I'm going to ask. Would you have a membership site in addition to that? I guess you could. Yes. You don't need to have it unless you have the program where you want people to log in and see their information.
Exactly. And I have like a little secret that I'll share with people right now is that a lot of people don't know about this, but Facebook within the last year rolled out with a course or units component in private Facebook groups. You don't have to pay for it. So a lot of people start looking at they look at things like Kajabi, right? Like Kajabi is
Yeah.
probably, or Kartra is another one out there.
Mhm.
They're looking at these tools like, I need a membership portal. And I'm like, but do you? Does a client really care what your membership portal looks like? And, or a
You're
member?
logging into Facebook every day, at least multiple times a day anyway. Why
Exactly.
have a different login? I didn't know that. I love that secret.
Oh my God, it's so amazing. You have to, in the Facebook group, it has to be categorized, I think, as like a social, like, I think the term is like social network or something like that. If
Okay.
you just Google like Facebook group, like course or units, it'll come right up the instructions on how to do it.
That's
And
cool.
so, and exactly. So with every program that you ever run, even if you have a membership platform, you likely have a Facebook group that goes along with it. And you want people to engage in the Facebook group and connect with the community. So why would you not also house your course content or program content there? And it actually shows units up at the top, and it shows a progress bar, and they click on them and then they go review the content. They can mark the unit or the progress is done, and it moves them through the process. So then you partner that with something like your Infusionsoft or your ActiveCampaign or Ontraport to also drip emails to them
Mhm.
to keep them engaged and keep them moving through the content. Like, hey, this week we're on module 7. Go click over into the Facebook group and complete the module 7 module, right? Or unit. And again, it's free. People are
Yeah,
spending
I
money
love
on these things. I'm like, there's
that.
a free tool. I'm sure Facebook will probably monetize it at some point in time,
Yeah.
but right now it's free. So Nicole, do you have any other questions on some of these tools that like I'm highlighting here for people?
No, I think that you've done an awesome job, just really showing us like how to kind of put this together, what kind of tools that we need to get started. For me, one of the most, if I could underline anything that you said, like for me, that my key takeaway was your question around, after you've onboarded a new client, what is the next thing to do?
Yeah, it's
And
like
it's
mind blowing.
go find another client, because like the better that your systems are, the better the onboarding process, the better the workflows. That
Hmm.
part should be seamless once you have them into that, the onboarding, that you get to go and find somebody else.
Exactly. So let me show you what that looks like in the back end of my
Yeah.
system. So this is the back office automation, right? The onboarding process that like I enroll a client and I don't have to lift a finger until they're ready to do the first session with me, which by the way, in the way that I work with people, they do they'll do 5 lab tests and a couple intake forms, and it takes time for them to do the lab tests and get the results back. So from the point that I enroll them to the point that I have their first results review session with them, it could be 4 to 6 weeks. And so I need to make sure that they're engaged in that process, that they're completing their lab test and they're completing their intake forms, right? To get to that point. I don't want them to fall off. So this is what we've built in the back is on this side, they purchase the system recognizes which program that they purchase. It automatically dumps them into a sequence of emails where they get an initial welcome. I'm so excited to be working with you. Here's the lab test instructions. Here's the intake forms. Here's other important information. 10 days later, it sends them another reminder email like, hey, you should have received your lab test in the mail. Here's what you need to do as a reminder with that. And then it also throws them into this follow-up sequence. So every week or so, they're getting reminded, hey, don't forget to turn that stuff in. Don't forget to complete that stuff. And once they complete it, those emails get turned off automatically. So as they start to complete things and I receive test results and I receive intake forms, the system is looking for all of that stuff to be done. And because there's a rule set, and when it recognizes that all the things are done, it marks them as ready. And then it moves them to the next stage where it triggers a task for me that now shows up on my daily task list to
Oh,
do,
cool.
to analyze the test results, to put together my recommendations. I mark the task is complete. And now down here, it throws them into a sequence where it's sending them emails to get them to book their results review session with me. And it will send them a reminder email to do that until they book the session. The system recognizes that they book the session. And now it throws them into session 1. So I can track what session that they're on. And I can also send them any emails related to that automatically. And that session, and it creates a task for that session, which is where I put all of my session notes when I meet with the client. I'm mark that task complete, and then it creates the next session for them. So like in my larger program, I have 21 sessions. Could you imagine like keeping track of that manually? Like the
Oh,
system
yeah.
tells me what session that they're on, right? So
My favorite part of that is where it adds tasks to your list automatically.
yes,
That is
I'm
so cool. Now I can see how you're logging in and you just see what your task list is for
exactly.
today.
So this is what it actually looks like. So when I log in, this screenshot was actually from yesterday. So my dashboard here, here's like my task list that I can filter by what's due, overdue, today, tomorrow, whatnot. So I can really, again, zero in and say, okay, what are the things that are priority that I have to do? You can also have other reports on your dashboard. So I have a team that works for me, assistants that do drop ship orders for test kits and supplements. So I can keep an eye on like the total open tasks that they have. I can see a detailed list here of what it is that they're working on so I can manage my team. And then these are also super important. So this is showing my client program status, where people are in the stages of their program. So I had 8
Oh,
people that are like pending. I'm waiting to get their test results and questionnaires. I had 3 people that I'm like working on prepping their analysis and recommendations, 4 people that are in the process of scheduling, 3 people that book their results review session, 20 people in regular sessions. Like this is really helpful for you to be managing your schedule, like
mhm.
seeing what's coming down the pipeline for you, right?
Yeah.
And then reporting on how many people purchased what type of program from me. I have a Jumpstart intensive total transformation. How many active alumni do I have? How many a la carte things are going on? Total active coaching clients. Like I would, do a little personal training on the side with people I've had forever. And so just total visibility to your business, right? Being able to manage it.
I love
And
this. This is like super inspirational to see how you've had all of this set up. I'm a real geek at like peeking behind the scenes and how
mhm.
people run their businesses. So I'm like just peeking out over
Yeah,
here.
you're seeing it all. And then in detail in the client area, everything is under the client account. So this is also another thing. Like if you think about something like, okay, Practice Better can do a lot of the client stuff, but it's not your email marketing system. Well, your clients are going to get emails from you also. So if you wanted to look at their email history, you have to log into, let's say, MailChimp, because it's not in Practice Better versus like in something like Infusionsoft, it's all in one place. So you can look at the client email history. Are they opening your emails? Are they clicking on something? In the same area, you can see all the things that they've purchased, the money that they've invested, what programs they're in. We use something called tags in Infusionsoft, which a lot of systems use to track, for reporting, like what kinds of things have turned in. And then you can also see like progress tracking under the campaigns feature, like where are they actively at in some of your automation process to be able to
Mhm.
understand that, right? And then Infusionsoft in particularly is a very powerful tool because it also gives you other resources to scale your business. There's a landing page builder. So a lot of people have landing pages like or lead pages is what it's called, right? And then they're using something else over here. It also gives you an e-commerce store. So I think in our industry now, like a lot of people are using something like FullScript or Wellevate, or maybe they have Designs for Health, which is where like I use FullScript. So my clients purchase 90% of their supplements in FullScript, but there are some things that I like to use that FullScript doesn't have. So I use my Infusionsoft e-commerce store to list those things, or to list the lab tests that they can purchase from me. And then we've automated the drop shipping and tracking portion of that as well too.
Mhm.
And then if you're somebody who's interested in doing affiliate marketing programs, Infusionsoft runs that for you as well, helps with lead generation. I mean, most people know Infusionsoft as a huge sales and marketing tool. And what I've really just shed light on for you guys is the client management side of it. So it is this super powerful resource that I think that most people are not using to the full capacity. I talk to so many people in our space that are using Infusionsoft for their sales and marketing, but they're not using it for client onboarding and automation because they just have never seen it in this kind of capacity,
Yeah, and
really.
I haven't either. And I love systems and tech and apps. And so I was really excited when you started this presentation and you said you were going to go through the CRM side of things, because besides the sales and the marketing and, sending out email blast and lead gen, I haven't seen it used in this way.
Yeah, it's really unique. I do,
What a powerful tool to have.
it really is. Like, I have a partner in the programs that we run, where we do the client management customization for people. And she's basically been using Infusionsoft since the beginning of Infusionsoft time. And she's worked with over 100 different companies in Infusionsoft, and she even builds like HR campaigns for hiring employees in Infusionsoft that automates that process.
Yeah.
We automated the email signature portion of like signing a program agreement using Infusionsoft, so you can get rid of using DocuSign or like other things that you might have
That's great.
in there. The whole membership side of things, it automates that. It does all of your subscription payments. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It does, I'll have to say that it took me 6 months to build. When we look at like this client onboarding piece here, this is just a snapshot of one of the 7 suites of campaigns that we have that interact with each other to totally automate the onboarding process.
Okay.
And it took us 6 months to build it, and then about, another 6 months to really test it and tweak it. And so that's one of the things that I'm here to help functional health practitioners do that are in this style of business. Like if you're doing lab testing, working directly with clients or patients, we can basically make a carbon copy of my system and give you the structure.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you're setting these up for clients or if you're just kind of mentoring them how to do it themselves. But I love that you can create a copy of this.
Yep. So basically what we do is we help them to, if they don't already have an Infusionsoft application or account, we help to set them up with that, because we do partner with Infusionsoft. We're able to get exclusive discounts that the general public can't get. And then we can basically download the suite of campaigns like this that we've built into their application or account. And then what our program does is it walks them through, it's like training modules that walks them through how all the campaigns work. And then remember, it's like a turnkey home. So it has 90% of what you want, but you need to go in and like add your little custom pieces to it. So like
decorations.
Exactly. So like all my emails come over, so there's email copy and content that comes over. If you don't like what it says, you can modify it. My logos are in there. So you swap the logos out for yours or your links. And we, for people out there that have really big businesses and are busy and don't want to be doing this themselves, we do have a done for you option where you just provide us with a list of the assets that we need to go in and set it up for you. But it is important to go through the training modules. And once you understand the structure of it, it's easy then to go in and build on top of that. And we do have an alumni program that we offer as well, which is for that next level of practitioner that wants to create new stuff. They understand the foundations, they've automated their client onboarding, but now they want to explore more of the marketing side or running group programs or whatever it is that they want to do. And in our alumni program, we really support, the ongoing growth, which is going back to the checklist. I said Infusionsoft provides, the Infusionsoft side provided training. That's the training that we provide that you don't get with Entreport or Active Campaigns. We're actually running a program that is ongoing training on how to utilize the system and constantly being able to use it to its capacity. So in our alumni program, we hold bi-monthly calls. It's kind of like, think like a mastermind group almost for Infusionsoft with a functional health coaching and practitioner business. And showing how to
ask that. When I saw that, I'd forgotten to ask in the moment, because I was wondering, was that something that Infusionsoft provided? I'm sure that every place has their own training portal, but you mean specifically that you guys have your own training
for our industry, basically, specifically. And you're right. And Infusionsoft does have a great training library. They have support chat that's available. They just don't understand our industry. So when you work through their support, they can help you with the basic functionality of Infusionsoft. But when it comes to something customized like this, you need to work with somebody that can handle this specifically, because they're not going to understand like why you set up a package with lab testing and this many coaching sessions and all of that business as well. So that's where we provide that ongoing support and training for, a lifetime, basically.
Brilliant. And how do people find you?
So they can find me at my website. It's holistichealthboss.com. Holistic is with a W, just like Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of Whole Foods lovers watching us probably. And on Holistic Health Boss, you'll see a tab that says FDN Mentoring, because I do come from the functional diagnostic nutrition community and really kind of specialize in mentoring those practitioners. But those practitioners are similar to how chiropractors, functional medicine doctors are working. We've had those types of people go through our program. And really, if your model of business is selling a package of labs and selling a package of appointments like coaching sessions or patient appointments, that is what this is for. Basically, that's the structure that we're talking about here that we automate. And then we also do part of our training includes training about the sales and the marketing piece and the campaigns to go along with that, for like hosting a webinar, like getting opt-ins or leads from a live event, as well as like having a feature on your website where people can schedule a consult with you and they get dumped into the system, and the automated emails and all that kind of stuff happens too. So we do touch on all aspects of it as well.
That's awesome. And guys, Jenn has provided a checklist for you guys that includes what we talked about today. So you can just kind of grab the link to that down below the video and get started on your journey of onboarding clients and back office systems.
Yay.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
This has been really great, really eye-opening and fascinating. Like I said, I'm a systems geek and I love seeing the way that everything is set up here. Love the workflows, and really good even reminder to myself, like that those last pieces of the funnel, the client experience, the engagement, are not things that I have super dialed in my business either. So got lots of notes of things that I need to dial in myself. See, I come to this summit as a lifelong learner.
Yes.
Every interview, I take some notes and I learn one piece of information that I need to do in my own business too. So
definitely, we all have like our superpowers in a way. It's so funny. People are like, "Did you have a background in technology?" I'm like, "No, I studied kinesiology in college, and I've always worked in the health and business." But I'm like you were saying earlier, you love tasks. I'm like, I am a task list nerd. Like, I want a checklist, and I like process. And this just happens to be one of my superpowers. So I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to share this with the world, because I think most, healer types, and to know fault of their own, like this is just not their zone of genius and necessarily, and it is a struggle out there. And so I hope this was incredibly insightful for the people who were able to watch this.
I'm sure it has been. So guys, get your systems up and running. Stat. Thanks, Jenn. Thanks for being here with us, and bye everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you being here with us. I hope that in this session you learned something impactful and something powerful that's going to help transform your business. Before I leave, I just wanted to let you know that this session was sponsored by my business, Brand Better, branding, websites, funnels, and more for the wellness entrepreneur. If you want to learn more about my business, you can head over to brandbetter.online to find out more. And I also wanted to make sure to invite you to join me on Friday, the last day of the conference, July 3rd, for a half-day masterclass where I'm going to help you put this all together, the Wellness Business Accelerator, and make sure that we take all of the great concepts that you just learned in all of these amazing presentations with these great rockstar speakers and make a plan for your business. So it's going to be live and interactive. Check out your email to make sure what time it is on Friday, but it is going to be a live half-day masterclass. So I hope that you join me. I'd love to see you there. We're going to get some really good work done and make sure that we take all of these concepts, and they're not just these, just sit and watch and take some notes and not actually employ any of these strategies. I want to make sure that these are real actionable things that you put in your business. So join me there on Friday. Go over and check out brandbetter.online to learn more about my business. And I'll see you on the next interview. Bye.